Newark has always been one of America's most important cities. A transportation hub, an industrial powerhouse, a city of immigrants, workers, entrepreneurs, and culture. But in July of 1967, everything changed. For 6 days, Newark became the center of one of the most significant urban uprisings in American history. Some call it a riot, some call it a rebellion. The name itself reflects different perspectives, but there's no debate that those 6 days forever changed Newark.
In a nation built on freedom, voices were meant to be heard, not divided. Red or blue, left or right, different views, but the same future. What if American politics wasn't about winning, but about working together? On Politics with Amari, we believe real change happens when Democrats and Republicans stop talking past each other and start talking with each other. This isn't about parties, it's about people, families, communities, and American networks for all citizens. Honest conversations, bold ideas, respectful debate, one nation moving forward together. Because unity isn't weakness, it's power.
Before July 1967, tensions had been building for years. Newark black population had grown rapidly, but many residents faced discrimination in housing, employment, education, and political representation. Complaints about police brutality were common. Many black residents believed they were treated unfairly by a police force that did not reflect the city's changing population. Economic inequality and frustration continued to grow. The city was already under enormous pressure, but it only needed a spark. On July 12, 1967, black cab driver John Smith was arrested after a traffic incident. Witnesses said police officers severely beat him. Rumors quickly spread that Smith had died in police custody. Crowds gathered outside the police precinct demanding answers. The demonstrations soon escalated. Over the next 6 days, Newark experienced widespread violence, looting, fires, clashes with police, and the deployment of the New Jersey State Police and National Guard. By the time it ended, 26 people had lost their lives. Hundreds were injured. Thousands were arrested. Entire blocks of businesses and homes were damaged or destroyed. Many historians argue the events weren't caused by one arrest only. The beating of John Smith became the breaking point after years of frustration over racial inequality, lack of political representation, economic hardship, and policing. That's why many Newark residents today prefer the word rebellion. To them, the violence was not random. It was a collective response to the conditions they believed had gone ignored for decades. Others continue to use the word riot, emphasizing the destruction and the loss that occurred. Understanding Newark means understanding both perspectives. Although the rebellion devastated parts of Newark, it also transformed the city's politics. Community organizing increased. Black political participation expanded. Just 3 years later, in 1970, Newark elected Kenneth Gibson as mayor, the first black mayor of a major city on the East Coast. For many residents, his election represented a turning point. It signaled that political power in Newark was beginning to reflect the people who lived there. The rebellion reshaped the city's leadership for generations to come. The aftermath was complicated. Many businesses never reopened. Investments declined. Some residents and businesses moved to suburbs, accelerating changes that had already begun. For years, Newark struggled with poverty, unemployment, and crime, but the city also became known for resilience. Neighborhood leaders, churches, community organizations, and activists continued working to rebuild Newark. Over the decades, the city invested in downtown redevelopment, education, transportation, arts, and business growth. Today, Newark is home to major corporations, university, one of the nation's busiest airports, and a growing downtown. Yet conversations about policing, economic inequality, and opportunity continue, showing that many of issues raised in 1967 remain part of Newark's story. The Newark Rebellion wasn't simply 6 days of violence. It became a defining moment in the city's history. It exposed deep inequalities. It changed Newark's political future. It influenced civil rights conversations across America. And nearly 60 years later, its legacy still shapes discussions about justice, community, and what Newark has become. Whether you call it a riot, an uprising, or rebellion, one thing is certain. To understand Newark today, you have to understand what happened in July 1967. Because history doesn't explain where a city has been, it helps understand where it's going. This is Amari, and this is Politics with Amari. Stay tuned.